Alright, so the reason why I wanted to put the camera on right now, why I've got this handsome young man sitting right next to me, is because this guy has gone through a transformation, and what we'll actually really get into is a transformation that's not just of the body, but a real life transformation as well. And something that's honestly, it's truly inspired me being able to be here, and I feel totally privileged actually being able to go through this. So, Chaz, what got you to the point of having to actually say to yourself, I need to change? Like, what brought that about?
Probably early July. I was working away, working overseas, so doing the old FIFO gig.
Yeah.
And just obviously unhappy in work, unhappy in life, you know, there's a lot of things. Unhappy at how I looked mainly. Obviously it was probably the main one, but just everyday life wasn't happy. Like I'd wake up and I'd look in the mirror and I wasn't happy, and I'd be like, fuck, this isn't who I was meant to be, you know. I felt like I should have been something different.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously I was drinking more alcohol and I was partying more, and I was, you know, trying to sleep with different girls, so, you know, one in particular, but yeah, and then I just thought, like, this isn't, you know, like, this isn't,
it's good, the truth.
It's fun, but it's not, you know, like, it was like I was living like in this fake world. Yeah. So, and then I was just getting in a worse and worse state. Yeah. And then probably
what, like, I find we've all been there in some point of our lives, and we've all kind of been lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
What got you to speak the truth to yourself? Like, what was like, yeah, I've got to break out of this?
It was probably, I can't remember that. What it might have been August. I remember it was the Super Rugby final back home in NZ.
Yeah.
And we're drinking with some friends, and I completely lost the plot, and I was like, fuck, I have to change. Like, I can't live.
Well, you got real pissed.
Real pissed.
Yeah.
Got in a bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spent the night somewhere I shouldn't.
I'll be brutal up front. I appreciate the honesty, and I'll say I haven't drank seriously. Like, I haven't had a proper binge drink since, it's been years now. It would honestly have to be like maybe 6 or 7 years. Like, for me, it's been that long. But I remember it's because it was in New Year's. I got absolutely trolleyed one night. Like, just inebriated, and I woke up the next morning and I was just like, that's not me, that's not the person I want to be anymore. And since then, like, I just haven't had like a binge drink, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it was literally, so I woke up the next morning and I was like, I've got to get out. Like, and I got a taxi straight home, and I was like, fuck, this isn't, like, and I just knew that in that moment in time, and I was like, and I was such a low, and I was like, this isn't me. And I was like, this is, my life has to change, like my lifestyle has to change. Like, obviously I knew I was out of shape, and like, obviously I thought I was happy, but I knew I wasn't happy. Like, inside I wasn't happy, just thinking happy, that there's a reason I wasn't happy. And that's what brought the change, you know. So I quit my job, and then obviously wanted to come over to Thailand.
Alright, so let's fast forward then. You've rocked up to Thailand now. What's gone through your head?
I was going, what am I actually up to? Like, I was like, what have I put myself in for? But probably the thing was, like, I was a lot of unknown. Like, I was like, what am I going to do? Like, where do I start? Like, I knew that I was going to train, and I was going to do CrossFit, and I was going to do all the high intensity fit classes. And I was like, this is going to be me. And I was like, this is who I wanted to, you know, or this is what I thought I had to do to lose weight. And then, and I still, like, a couple of days in, I still thought, fuck, what am I up to? Like, I was in this big deep hole. I signed up to the gym, and I was like, what am I even doing in the gym? Like, I've been to the gym for probably 5 or 6 years. Like, even growing up, you sort of grow up in the gym, but, you know, I was like, what am I actually going to try and be achieving here? By, like, what am I to lose this weight? What am I gonna do? I just didn't. I was like in this whole world of unknown, you know. And I wasn't scared, but I was like, fuck, I hope I've got to make this work, you know. So there's pressure on myself. I didn't want to go home.
Huge pressure. I think that's something important for everyone to take away, is putting yourself under that pressure and being like, I have to actually make this worthwhile, because you kind of dug yourself into a hole, a good hole. Yeah. But you dug yourself into a hole.
Yeah, I literally, like I say, I chucked myself in the deep end and just thought, I've got to maintain. And it was an uncomfortable situation, because I didn't know who to go to see or who to seek, because everyone in, like, this industry, I feel, is, they all, like, well, not everyone, but a lot, like 90% of the people are all out for themselves, so they want to tell you, oh, this is what you've got to do, and this is how you do it. Like, for a certain class, well, then obviously they're going to tell you to go to all those classes. You know? They're not going to tell you what's best for your actual health.
Yeah, it's like what I said yesterday. Like, you don't ask a barber if you need a haircut.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So that's the other thing. It was like not knowing who to ask or who to approach for the right advice. Because that's obviously at the end of the day what I needed was the right advice and some right mentoring, I guess.
All right, so then we crossed paths. Like, what went down in your head? I don't think we've actually talked about this.
No.
What went down in your head as in like, all right, I need to figure out what's going on, and how are you actually going to make that happen?
Yeah. Oh, I remember I rocked up to the gym and I seen you and I was like, fuck, who is this beast? Like, I literally thought you were a personal trainer, and I was like, who is this guy? And then
it was funny because I remember you asking me, are you a trainer? And I was like, oh well, like yeah, I am a trainer, but I'm not. I really like.
And it was a real awkward answer. I was like,
yeah, it was a real awkward answer because I was like, yeah, but I'm actually on holidays here, and then I was just kind of like, just go check out my website.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, just check this out. And I was like, oh, okay, right. So. Yeah, so then obviously that's when I was like, right, I'll approach you, and then I don't know if it was like I guess like when you see someone that you just want to sort of aspire to be like, or want to get that physical look about, well then obviously you want to ask those people how they've got there, what the key points are, and that's why I obviously asked who you were, and so like that's when I was like, fuck, I've got to sort of find someone that wasn't directly related to the street, you know, like I wanted to like sort of outsource who I was training with, because you know, there's always like, are they going to go to eat here and eat this place and train at this place, because that's, I've not given up backhanders, but like that's who they prefer to do, so like, that's right, like, that's fine.
There's an agenda behind it.
Yeah, and so they have that agenda, so I was like, well, I don't want to be, I wanted someone sort of outside of that circle, is what I wanted to approach it by, and I was like, fuck, hopefully, and then I obviously just, I was just like thinking, I've got to trust the system, you know.
Okay, good. Alright, so I tell you what, this is an important part now. So, we obviously got chatting, and you were kind of like, all right, I want to jump on board the coaching program, and I was like, oh, like, okay, sweet as.
100%.
And obviously we sat down for the first time and kind of went through like eating history, training history, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Now, when we did make the changes, like to start off, I don't know how you actually felt, but like it was pretty simple changes that we made to kick us off. How did you feel when I actually gave you, and it was like, hey, this is all you need to do for now?
I was confident. I was actually surprised in when I first read it. I was like, fuck, is it all like, not is it all I do, but that's how I felt. Like it wasn't like go blow your ass at the cardio sessions. It wasn't like, it was like easy, like, well, not easy my way, but like probably just being smart about the way you approach your training. Like I was like,
I think that's a good point, and kind of why I asked for everyone is because it's, a lot of people make it too hard for themselves and make it too confusing, and so it doesn't need to be that way.
The thing wasn't, it wasn't unrealistic either. Like it wasn't like, oh, like I've got this program, I can't achieve it, or I can't do it. Like the diet was simple. I knew I had to make, like we all knew, like, well, obviously I came here for a reason. I knew I had to make changes. So the diet I wanted to change anyway. But then like the training, I thought, like in my head I was like, what's he going to give me? He's going to give me some random fucking crazy exercises, and it wasn't even like that. Like it was like, these are simple exercises, and then come down to the cardio terms of like, it was simple to do cardio, like go for a walk, like
20-minute walk,
or go, like go sit there like that, for half an hour. Go for, like it was easy to follow. Like and I didn't feel intimidated by it either. Like I felt like, oh, this is doable. Like I thought, well, in my head, I can do this. It's like, and if I can control like the eating, and the training would just come naturally.
What were you confused or found hard when you first started and made that transition?
Probably obviously the eating probably is the hardest part, because you're not like, before I was here I was drinking like regularly, and I was eating obviously bad food regularly. That was probably the hardest. Just probably trying to make myself eat more would have been one of the main ones. Like trying to,
pretty epic problem though, do you know what I mean? Like as in, hey, I want to shed fat and now I'm struggling to eat enough food. That was
probably like my main thing, was like, like I eat this many meals, I was like, I literally can't push it down any further. Like and training, like I feel like when I was going to be sick, it was because I was eating too much food, so that's probably the hardest. Well, I don't think, like physically it wasn't hard, probably mentally, like it was a mental challenge, like it was a mental change for my life anyway. But the training, like I say, it wasn't actually the tough part. It was like the eating or getting used to that habit. It wasn't like, it was changing your lifestyle, and like making it become second nature, like going into a restaurant or going out for dinner, you'd order like chicken and vegetables, or like a portion of meat and vegetables, instead of eating like fish and chips, or like eating some sandwiches or some, like some form of like, having
small tweak that.
Just not having that all the time. Like you can still have it, but just not having it constantly.
Especially when it comes time to like carb you up, I'm like, push it in. Like, you got to get it in. You're like, oh, I had like a couple wraps, and I'm like, it's not enough.
Exactly. And I still felt like, myself, I was like, fuck, I can't push any more down. Like that to me is a lot of carbs. Obviously, making that lifestyle change, like when you're going from just eating so clean and healthy, and then you're like, I actually got to get that down. It's like, how do you actually get that down again? Like, because you're so used to it back before you start training, you're like, how did I even do that?
No, okay, that's really good. So, like, you've lost over 13 kilos of fat so far in just under 10 weeks. What transformation or changes do you feel other than physically? Like, because there's a lot to
clearly. Mentally, my whole mindset has changed. Like I was saying the other week, last week. I think clearer. I feel like more energized. Like I don't feel like, obviously at the start I was feeling tired and like I feel when I get up in the morning, like it's going to be a good day, you know. Like I look, I'm like, fuck. Like, I look in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, I feel good. You know, you feel good, look good. You know, so you know, like, and so like I get up, like now my energy's changed. You know, like I can obviously do more as well, but like mentally, man, like my whole mindset, like I obviously going to try and go down a different career path as we touched on earlier, but like just thinking better, like obviously letting things go easier as well. You know, like just having that probably
more confidence.
Definitely like a clearer state of mind and the confidence coming from like and being around others, like not sort of like obviously that's what you're trying to tell yourself. You're not lacking confidence because we all try to be confident people, but like lacking it, like obviously inside you lack self-confidence, you lack self-belief, you know, whereas now I believe in myself, like if I got to go and do something, or I can believe I can do it, like even just talking to someone, you know, like it's just like you believe that that you can do it, like it's just like so like even
chatting up birds all the time.
Wouldn't say that, but like so you know, like but you know, like just the self-confidence and the self-belief in yourself, and probably the big one for me was my mindset, just my mentality of like how happy I am compared to what I was in that hole that I
having gone through that yourself and being in such a strong position and taking yourself and being like the instigator, like you're the one that took responsibility, made the decision, followed through with the actions. Like as much as I laugh because the plan that we followed is so simple, and even because you're like, this is super simple, like there's nothing fancy about it, but it was obviously what's going to suit you and your body, your situation, your life. But you going through this, what would you recommend for everyone right now? Like, what's your 2 cents to help them make that transformation for themselves?
Probably, if you know inside you want to make a change, believe in it. Like ride that wave. Like if you feel like you need to make a change, do it. Like don't hold back, and because obviously I obviously leaped forward and did it. But just back yourself and like yourself. Like if you back yourself and you surround yourself with good people that know and that are knowledgeable, that know their stuff, well then believe this. Like for me, like and it was hard at the start. Like when we got that program and we got the diet plan, I was like, fuck, is this going to work? Like you got to trust the system. Like trust the system. Like believe in it, because and if you follow it, it'll work. Like, it works. It can't not work. You know, like obviously I've done it, so I know it works. So for me, like just trust, like be faithful, like and trust what's going to happen. Like for me, and obviously it's easy to say for me to believe in yourself, but like if you know you need to make change, well then don't need to hold you back and do it. Like for me, like just back yourself.
Powerful stuff.
That's powerful because if you don't do it, for me, like if I didn't do it, I would have regretted it. So I know for everyone else, if they're in that same position, you're going to regret not doing it.
So what's in store now? What's the next steps? Obviously you've gone, like you're only, like we were talking about the other day, like this physical transformation is only just the start of what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like, just in the last week, like you've packed on more muscle like crazy. It's like it's a human transformer at the moment. what life going forward? What's going on?
So for me, obviously I was a builder by trade or carpenter by trade. So I was working out of Aussie, doing the old FIFO gig. So I've decided to sort of hand that in and focus on myself a bit, and probably focus on, I am going to focus on my health and well-being more obviously. Probably more particularly than what I used to. But yeah, I'm doing at the moment, I've enrolled for a advanced personal training certificate. So I'm going to try and not be you, but try and help people like myself. And
I'm taken.
Try and like, so for me, like I want to try and help people in the situation that I was in, and sort of guide them and try and mentor for them. Like, you know, obviously try and say to them, I know how you are, and so obviously try and that's sort of the next sort of step for me is study, so and just dig in and try and get some processes going.
I think it's just so important, like you walking the walk and having gone through the process yourself, you've got so much to give. See, what I've seen, why I wanted to do this was because you do have so much to give, and I think I want to kind of just help that platform grow.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's
so like, and then obviously like just trying to move forward, and obviously like I want to study, but still I want to better myself. I still want to become better. There's still a lot more of me to be. Like there's still a lot more that I can give to myself. So focusing on that too. So obviously with your guidance, it's all of it, mate.
It's all you.
But yeah, like say, like like you can give us, like anyone in the world can give you all these diets or all these nutrition plans or these training plans, but unless you do it, like it's pointless. So giving it an edge, like super stoked.
What do you think then is the secret sauce behind someone transforming their body at least?
Probably not. I think for me, I knew where I wanted to go. Like I knew where I wanted to be. Like if you're not right, for me, I knew inside what I wanted to be and who I should have been, who I should be. And I knew and we all hide behind. For me, I was hiding behind something or an excuse. Like I think we all hide behind something, and we either we emotionally eat it or we drink it or something. So I think if you just I don't know, you got to give it a crack,
Got to give it a crack.
That's
exactly right. And it's a perfect way to wrap this up, because the biggest thing that I want for you to be able to do is to have it. Give it a crack. Do you know what I mean? Like, believe in yourself and say, well, if I do want this, well then the honest truth is, if you don't take responsibility for yourself, you're just never going to get there. Like, the only person that's ever going to do it is yourself. And so I think the best thing for us to part ways on this episode right now is just to make sure that you give it a crack. Honestly, don't lie to yourself. If you do want something, if you do want a better body, a better health, a better business, a better relationships, a better life, whatever it is, then believe in it and go after it. And obviously this is why I and we want to be able to do this and share this with you and make sure you go do it. So obviously this is more of a kind of like a nice feel good wrap up to the episode, but you've got to give it a crack, and that's why we do what we do. So give it a shot.
Believe in yourself.
Now it's time for you to get the most out of this and comment below. This is where I will personally come in and give you the answers that you need. And as always, the best discussions happen over at mybodyblend.com. This is where I can give you all the guides, programs, and insights that I can't fit in these episodes. Plus the free diets and workouts are there waiting for you now. And if you did like this episode, then be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode and I can send them straight to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon here and in the My Body Blends only community.